Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Matt Tellica, Chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals, for those who may not know me on this call. And I'm going to ask staff to do a roll call. And when the staff does the roll call, they also, excuse me, because we're on a Zoom call, they have to read a statement. So besides saying present, let's do these in one step, I believe. Correct me if I can't do it this way, Kelly, but we're going to have them say they're present and where they're calling in from. And is that it, Kelly, what they have to do? You have to say you're calling in on a Zoom call electronically and what municipality or where you're calling from, correct, Kelly?
Yes, and I have another statement that I have to read into the record regarding the amendment to the Open Meetings Act. So traditionally, after Bill takes roll, then I'll read that statement and throw it back to him to do another roll call, and that's where people will go one at a time.
Together?
We can, certainly.
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting. Sorry to make it clear.
No, that's all right.
We're going to start out by you reading can you read it? Then we'll have Bill. We'll have Bill do the roll call, and then again, everybody, you want to respond that you're here, you're participating electronically, and where you're calling from, our city and state.
Okay, you ready for me, Mr. Chair?
Yep.
Okay. All boards and commissions must adhere to all laws established under the Michigan compiled laws and in accordance with the revisions of the Open Meetings Act adopted in Senate Bill 1108 as passed on October 13th, 2020 and signed into law on October 16th, 2020. A public announcement shall be made by each member who is attending the meeting remotely that he or she is in fact attending the meeting remotely, and except for those in military service, stating his or her physical location. And Bill, if you would call the roll, please.
Bill?
Commissioner Stebbins?
Present. I am attending this meeting electronically and remotely from my home in Michigan.
Commissioner Hardy?
Good evening. I am also attending this meeting electronically via Zoom call from my home in Flint, Michigan.
Commissioner McCaskill?
Good evening, Commissioner McCaskill, and I'm attending this meeting remotely from my home in Flint, Michigan.
Commissioner Yelly?
Commissioner Yali, doing this meeting from my home in Flint, Michigan, via electronically, 4th Ward.
Commissioner Jordan? Commissioner Jordan?
Yes, I am attending this meeting from my daughter's home in Flint, Michigan,
Commissioner
and I'm
Key?
doing it remotely.
Okay. Commissioner Key?
This is Commissioner Key. I'm attending the meeting remotely from my home here in Flint, Michigan.
Commissioner Ricks?
Commissioner Ricks attending in Flint, Michigan, remotely.
Commissioner Telliga?
Hi, this is Matt Telliga. I'm attending remotely from my home in Flint, Michigan.
Commissioner Coney? Commissioner Blower?
Commissioner Blower, I also am attending remotely from my residence in Flint, Michigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You completed the roll, Bill?
Yes, I have, Commissioner Telliga.
All right, thank you. Let's go down to adoption of the agenda. Let's take a look at it. If anybody's got any additions, let me know at this point. If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda as written, please.
Matt?
Yep.
I've got a question. It says that I was absent last, and it's wrong. I was actually in the meeting. It's on the Zoom.
That's on the minutes though, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll correct that. We'll get, that's the next step. We'll take care of that next step.
Mr. Chair, I would like to add under new business the passing of Freeman Greer.
Okay. Anything else? All right, can I have a motion to approve it with that one change? Don't everybody speak at once.
My motion.
Support.
Who made that motion, please?
Commissioner Yali.
Okay, thank you. Wow, jumping right in. First
Yes,
meeting,
sir.
first day. You're gonna do great. We usually don't even hear from a commissioner for first few minutes or first few meetings. All right, all
Might
those
be
in
it.
favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Now we have approval of the minutes, and we know that we have one correction already, that Commissioner Stebbins was in attendance. Any other changes?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this is your Vice Chair, Commissioner Key. I have a couple of things that I noticed in the meeting for Bill. And one of the things I wanted to mention is I think that the last meeting, Bill, under new business, I think it was, we had an extensive discussion around making sure that we date our agendas with the current date underneath the title Zoning Board of Appeals. And so when I saw the agenda this time and I didn't see a date on it, I can bring that back to my mind. And so when I look at the minutes and I read through the minutes, I saw no mention of that discussion that we have. So in order for us to maintain complete minutes, completeness and consistency are things that I look for all the time, okay?
Thank you, Commissioner Key.
So Jerry, we do want to add in today's date to that,
Yeah.
to our
I think
agenda.
the
So let's make
discussion
that
was
note.
around there.
So we've got, actually, we probably should have done that in the agenda also. So we're going to backtrack and add the date to the agenda. Then we're going to update the minutes to say that Commissioner Stebbins was here and also that discussion.
Also, this Commissioner Hardy, I was present at December 15th meeting.
I
also.
thought you were too. The only person we were missing was Ari, correct, Ari? Weren't you not here the last
Yes.
meeting?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Bill, we need these minutes to be changed and everybody was present. The only person absent was Commissioner Ms. Casco. Oh, wait, was Commissioner Jordan, were you at the last meeting? I don't think you were.
No, I was sick.
There you go. There's the two people we didn't have. Wow, my memory's better than I thought. You got all those changes, Bill?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Anybody else got any other changes?
This is Commissioner Key. Okay, so after we add in the statement about our discussion about including the date on the agenda, the last small thing I have for you, Bill, is around consistency. Would you mind spelling my name the same throughout the minutes?
I missed that one, Jerry.
Under adjournment, it's not K-E-Y, it's K-E-A. You had me right everywhere else, but you had me K-E-Y under the last topic on the minutes for
Probably spell
adjournment.
check that digit to him.
That's my fault, not Bill's. Just to let you know.
It's not,
Is that
it's
Corey?
Yeah, it was my fault.
Oh, you guys will test me to see if I really do read this stuff, huh?
Right. Yeah, and you passed.
May I also add that my name has two N's in it? This is Commissioner Ricks.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you guys are piling on. Nah, this is good. Any other changes? Can I have a motion with those corrections, please?
Commissioner
Commissioner
Telga,
Hardy,
Commissioner
Go
Telga,
ahead.
point of order.
Yeah.
I believe that Commissioner Yelly can amend his motion if you'd like to, just
Okay. Commissioner,
the
you want to
items.
amend your motion? With
Yes,
the,
Commissioner
this,
Yali amends his motion.
yeah, with the additional changes. Thanks for catching that, Bill.
Commissioner Telga, Commissioner Blauer want to support that?
Yeah, that's where I was going with
Yes.
it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Blauer, you support that?
Yes, I support.
Okay. All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Motion carries unanimously.
It's Commissioner Hardy. I so move that we accept the minutes as read with the additions, corrections as stated.
We're good. We were able to do the friendly amendment there, so we're good on that. Thank you, John. I'm going to move on to public forum. We will have two public forums, a general one now, and then one when the case is being presented. Do we have anybody on for a public forum?
We do not.
Okay. Let's move down to reports. Do we have any reports? Staff?
No reports, Commissioner Telga.
No reports.
Communications?
No communications, Commissioner Telga.
All right, well, we're going to open up public hearing ZBA 20-2245. Lisa Adams requests a non-use variance. It should say a space non, not an anonymous use variance, to allow a D2 into D1 district at 2744 Flushing Road. So we're going to open it up with the applicant presenting to the board. After that, we'll have a public hearing. We'll open it up again just to make sure no one's here. And then we'll close that and have discussion. Applicant, you have the floor. Thank you.
Hello, hi, I'm Lisa Adams, and I'm trying to open up a daycare. I had a building there, and I did get approved to start a daycare, but then we decided to rebuild and knock down the building, so I have to start back over from scratch to get approval. So I'm here.
Okay. All right, I'm going to open up public. Again, we'll have time to ask any questions that we want. I'm going to open this up to public hearing. Do we have anybody here?
There is
Who'd like to
none.
speak for or against it?
There is none.
All right, hearing that, I'm going to close the public hearing and open it up to our discussion with the board.
Now I get to ask you questions.
Board, do we have any questions for this applicant?
Not a question, I guess a question. Ms. Adams, how long did you operate a daycare on that site before you was lost in fire or damaged or something to that extent? I can't.
No, I never had a daycare there. So I bought the building. We was getting approval to turn it into a daycare. But I had got approved and they wanted me to put an elevator in it. So I decided to knock it down and make it a one-story.
A one-story, okay.
Mhm.
This is Commissioner Key. If I could ask a couple of questions around the facility. Mrs. Adams, I'm familiar with the area because you're right down the street from where I live, okay?
Mhm.
But my question is around, I remember when the building was torn down and looking at your blueprint and all that was sent over, it looks like the area where the old building was and was torn down, that area will be asphalt over and turned it part of your parking area.
Yes,
The building is moving over to the west side of your lot, which is that part of that wooded area, or I call it a wooded area, it's not that
Yeah.
many trees. But, okay.
yes.
And your intention was to use and maintain as many trees as you could?
Yes,
So that you have shade on the playground area?
yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then I'm looking at the building that I thought I was concerned about, and I don't know, staff, you may have already gone through this when she submitted her application. The setback from the sidewalk seems to be about 7 feet,
Yes. Is that right?
Mhm.
which I'm assuming, staff, that's within the city ordinance that we're judging this against. And Bill, that would be something that you guys went through before it came to us, I'm assuming.
That's correct. Corey, can you confirm that too?
Yes.
Okay, so now my next question is around the actual facility itself. I see that the front side of the facility is labeled as daycare, 1 story. But then there's an L-shaped addition to the building, which you label as community space, 1 story. You know?
Yes,
I was a little confused by that because I thought this was a daycare. And I didn't know if community center and daycare were the same definition or within the boundaries or the ordinance, or are you asking us for something?
The first part is gonna be a daycare, and I'm planning on starting a community center, whereas I teach dance classes and stuff, and I wanna bring some dance classes, and my daughter is a gymnast, some classes for the community, for them to do something, you know, kids to have something to go to. So I'm also having that connected to that also.
Which you'll
Okay.
also use for the daycare.
Yeah, but I will also use that part as a daycare too, when it's not being used for that during the day.
So really, it's like a common area that you can use for daycare and for activities.
Yes.
All right. Now, to the west of your facility is I think it's some kind of another parking lot for the NOAA Center or something.
Yes.
So your building will come up almost to that parking lot.
Well, the playground will. The playground will be on the backside. The playground, then my building, and then the parking in front of it.
Okay. All right. So that was the confusion I had when I was looking through the prints and all. So I just wanted to ask those questions to get clarity in my mind.
Okay.
Okay, this is Commissioner Hardy, and I had a question for staff and probably also for you, Commissioner Blower, since the original was already looked at by the zoning office. My question is this. There was previously a daycare on that property. There's no way that grandfathering plays into this new construction or what? That's my question.
Since the property never came to be used for that purpose, it lost its grandfathered status after a year.
Got you. Thank you so much.
I don't have any issue with this application whatsoever. Yeah, and I just want to come out and say that. I think it's a good opportunity. I realize that she was going to have a daycare before issues arose with the property. I don't have a problem with it at all. Does anybody else have anything to say?
I still have a question for Commissioner Blower. The planning committee, the daycare was, I'm looking on page one of the standards, the fact sheet. The daycare center was approved, but contingent on installing a new elevator, installing new equipment such as an elevator. Is that why this was turned down, Commissioner Blower? What was?
I don't believe that was a planning commission. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that would be something through the state or
Make it ADA compliant.
Yeah,
Correct.
yes, to make the building compliant. That wouldn't have been coming from the planning commission.
But that shouldn't be relevant now because they're just having a one-story
building.
Correct.
Right.
It's one story, yeah.
Exactly. That's where I was going with that. Thank you.
Anybody else? Hearing no other discussion, I'd like to entertain a motion here. Does anybody want a motion to approve or decline this?
Commissioner
I'll make the
Yali,
motion.
go ahead. Commissioner Yali, I approve, move to approve this.
Commissioner Yalla, could you take a look at the back?
Yep.
Where's it at?
Last page of the application.
Right. Last page of the application. There's kind of a suggested motion. We've kind of got to get some details here. If you feel comfortable, you can read that off or paraphrase it in your own words.
Okay. Commissioner Yali, I make a motion to approve of the requested variance by Lisa Adams to permit the continued use of a child institution in the D1 zoning district following a redevelopment based on the following findings of facts. You want to read all the way through that, or?
Yeah.
It complies with standard one based on compliance resulting in closing and relocating the facility, or making more costly repairs to bring the buildings into compliance with state and local laws. It complies with standard 2 based on the unavailability of similar uses in the area and a particular building being in disrepair. It complies with standard 3 based on the use type not changing and therefore not significantly altering the character of the surrounding area in terms of use. It complies with standard 4 based on the applicant continuing the land use rather than changing it to another non-conforming use. It complies with standard 5 based on the proposed building retaining its use with the surrounding community and ensuring public health and welfare for users in the surrounding area. So I guess that's it.
We have support for that?
This is Commissioner Key. I would like to voice my support for the approval of ZBA 20-2245. That's
All right, having a motion and support, do we have any additional discussion?
Just one question for Ms. Adams. Has funding been secured to construct a new facility or no?
We working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to ask staff to do a roll call vote, please.
One moment, please. Commissioner Stebbins,
I agree.
Commissioner Hardy,
I agree with the passage of this.
Commissioner McCaskill,
Support.
Commissioner Jordan,
In agreement with it.
Commissioner Yelly,
I agree.
Commissioner Key,
I agree.
Commissioner Ricks,
Yes.
Commissioner Teliga,
Votes yes to the motion.
Commissioner Coney, Commissioner Blower.
Nice.
Yes.
That's roll call, Commissioner Teliga.
What's our vote?
Unanimous.
9 yeses and 1 absent.
Motion carries. Congratulations, applicant.
Thank you.
We wish you luck.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on the agenda to item H, City Attorney Report. Kelly?
Good evening, Commissioners. This is Assistant City Attorney Kelly Thompson. And for my report this evening, I wanted to update all of the commissioners on a couple of ordinances. The first is the marijuana ordinance. As most of you may be aware, we are proposing 3 different ordinances that relate to marijuana to City Council. And this is essentially expanding the ordinances to allow for recreational or adult use and adult use licensing. So at the meeting last Wednesday, that was approved for the first reading. So we are kind of in the middle of getting those 3 ordinance amendments adopted.
Kelly,
And
could
for
you
these,
share those with me?
yes, that is, you mean the citations?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 50-183,
Yep.
12-95.
Yep.
And then I referred to this as collectively 50-161 through 169. But specifically, Mr. Chair, it's 50-161, 50-163, 50-164, and 50-169.
Could you email those to me?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Would any other commissioners like to be included in that email?
Yes.
Kelly, yes, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Commissioner Ricks, please.
I will
Thank you.
send it out to the entire commission. Thank you.
There you go.
Hey, this is Commissioner Key, and I got a question for you, Kelly.
Yes.
What does that have to do with me as a zoning board of appeals?
Well,
Is it an update to the ordinance or something that I'm gonna have to consider when we
The
do some
subs-
kind of analysis of a case?
Right. So how this impacts the ZBA is that you may see, and we've already been doing it because we
Right.
have an emergency ordinance that allows for recreational licensing, but so really there are no substantive changes as far as the ZBA is concerned. like I said, we're already receiving applications for recreational licensing. So it really doesn't change the way we've been doing things. It just makes it more concrete that the city has opted into the recreational license.
Right, Jerry,
Okay.
we're gonna have a permanent ordinance now that's been updated, and it does affect us in that we do see cases under this ordinance.
And
Right.
so, and we would evaluate those cases based on the approved ordinance when that case comes forward, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Will this expedite the adoption of the master plan? Or are we still in?
Master plan's been adopted. You mean the zoning ordinance?
Yes, the zoning ordinance.
I read your mind.
Yeah.
Well, it is a good sort of practice for the zoning ordinance, and that was the next thing that I was getting to. The draft zoning code has been that was approved by the Planning Commission. That is coming before City Council starting this coming Monday, the 25th. So we're bringing it in batches. It's a whole new chapter 50. Which is quite a lot of ordinances. So rather than bringing it all at once, we're going to break it down into articles. So 6 articles at a time, and that'll be in 3 separate installments. So we are projecting that all of the ordinances will be reviewed and hopefully approved by City Council in the midsummer. So it's quite an undertaking, and because of so many provisions, it will take some time. But to answer your question, it doesn't necessarily help, but if nothing else, it is good practice for, getting questions from City Council and addressing their concerns and possible amendments and things like that. So all of it is moving in the right direction.
That's good to hear. I mean, my greatest concern is always that, for instance, we had this case in front of us today that wouldn't even have came in front of us if that had been passed by council, was written, 2 or 3 years ago now, people? And the master plans were adopted years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned there may become time where somebody gets turned down and they didn't even have to come in front of us if this would have been acted on in a timely fashion.
And to that point, Mr. Chair, if I could add, we have, because we're bringing it in groups of 6 articles at a time, we have elected to make it effective upon publication. So there will obviously be some months where articles 1 through 6 have been adopted, but not, the rest of them, 9 through 12 and so on. So
and as they're adopted, can you share them with us?
Absolutely. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because they won't take effect until they're all published at the same time at the very end. So we will have some adopted, but they won't be in effect until the full chapter is adopted.
Gotcha.
Mr.
Anybody have any other
Vandercook?
questions on that?
Well, this is Commissioner Key for Mr. Vandercook. I would expect to read Kelly's comments and information.
Jerry, we're in the city attorney report. Does this have to do the city attorney?
Well, would that be in the minutes next time it come out?
Yes.
Everything she's telling us now should be in the minutes, right?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Commissioner
Jerry.
Telga, he's asking if the report that Kelly's given right now should be in the minutes. And yes, Commissioner Keys.
Yes.
That would be correct.
Apologies, Jerry.
Completeness and consistency, okay? That's the only way we're gonna move forward and be consistent about what we do. All right? That's what I'm looking for.
Absolutely agree with you.
And Commissioner Key, just to allay some of your concerns, Bill is present in all of our meetings where we're preparing to bring the zoning code to City Council. So he's familiar with what I'm saying already. So I'm sure his minutes will be very thorough in this respect.
Well, I won't have to beat up on him anymore like I did this morning, will it, Bill?
That's okay. Commissioner Key, thank you.
Hey, he took it tough. I was home when he dropped off the rest of our agenda, and he was apologizing profusely, Jerry. In fact, I think he might have upset him.
Bill's one man doing the best.
He talked outside of my garage when he brought me the package back, okay?
I'm sorry, Ari, what'd you say? I didn't catch that.
I said Bill's one man doing the best he can.
Yeah, he's doing everybody's job right now. I got to cut him all the slack I can.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have to have it done right. And kudos to Jerry before I'd even opened my packet for noticing it was missing some things, but I certainly have some patience with him right now.
Hey, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not beating on Bill, but I want our city planning department to operate the right way. And if they're not giving Bill the kind of support and resources he needs to do the job, then there's a shortcoming on another side of the business that needs to be addressed. And that's a Suzanne
yeah.
question, right?
On the
That's a
record, we need
Suzanne
a
question, a
larger
Mill-
department. We need more hands to do more work.
Right.
Functional city.
Try to recruit me today.
Well, Eric, they didn't cut my taxes down. They're not giving me services.
It's true.
Man, this is the tough crowd.
That's why we're staying here. We like it.
Poor Bill. Hey, Bill's just a messenger, guys. Bill, you take that message back, though.
Yeah, we're good.
And that's all for my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kelly. All right, we're going to move to old business, and I know we have under their membership roster. And we're looking to get it updated, and we need to add our new commissioner to it also. And then get it distributed to the board.
We'll attempt to make that happen before the next meeting. So that'll be
Make
in
sure
the
you
May.
spell Jerry Key's name right, sure.
Corey, can you help me with that, please?
And
Sorry, what do you need help
Commissioner
with?
Ricks with 2 N's.
Right. Let's get the spelling correct with me.
Hey, Bill, I beat on Corey for 3 years and he still can't spell my name right.
Jerry Key's one of those guys that says, say what you want, just make sure you spell my name right. All right, so we've got the roster. We're going to add our new member, and then we're going to send it out. And if anybody has these suggestions or corrections, please let them know. Is there anything else under the membership roster that I'm not remembering?
The expiration dates. So we did have to get with the clerk, Commissioner Telga.
Okay.
I know that.
And everybody, don't freak out if your expiration date, you're past it. You're still a member unless your council person appoints somebody else. You can address it to your council person and ask him to reappoint you for a 3-year term. But until somebody else is, the precedent has been, unless somebody else is appointed, you continue to serve.
Just to let you know, Matt, Eric did mine last September.
Okay, staff, you make a note of that to make sure she was updated?
Yeah, city council. It went before city council. I believe it was September.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had a talk with my councilman. He's got bad news for you guys. He's going to re-up me. We're going to talk to Jerry's though.
I'm sorry, I already have, and I've already been re-upped to 2, I think. Last month.
Darn.
Man, I'm stuck with this position for a little while longer, okay?
All right, all right. Do we have any other old business?
Commissioner Telga, if there's no other business, I wanted to bring up one point of order.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Commissioner Yelly made a motion to approve the agenda. Is that correct, Commissioner Yelly? Originally, Commissioner Blauer seconded that motion for the agenda.
That's correct.
I believe Commissioner Hardy was right. I misspoke when I said minutes. I meant agenda. Could he amend the agenda? I said minutes. Commissioner Hardy was correct. I don't believe anybody made a motion for the minutes.
Well, let's back up, make sure that we got that.
I want to just make sure that Commissioner Hardy.
Sure, no, of course.
You know.
So
That's my record too. Yeah,
Okay,
Mr.
thank
Chair,
you.
that's what I have also.
So John made the motion. We need support.
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 All those
thank
in
you very
favor,
much.
aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Oh, motion carries. See, Jerry, you get us off track, getting all upset, getting everybody all upset. I'm putting it on Jerry.
Completeness and consistency, okay? I'm sorry, it's a flaw in my training, all right?
Right. We know that. You're an engineer by trade. All right, we're going to move on to new business, and under that we have the passing of Freeman Greer.
Mr. Chair, I wanted to publicly acknowledge the passing of a local architect, Freeman Greer. Freeman came before ZBA and Planning Commission a number of times as the presenter and the architect. He actually served as a 4th Ward Planning Commissioner preceding myself many years ago and served on the Historic Board. So I just wanted to here at tonight's meeting publicly acknowledge his contributions to the City of Flint and to the City of Flint's Planning and Zoning Office.
He certainly was a valuable member of our community and will certainly be missed. Thank you.
For those that don't know Freeman, he actually is the architect who was passionate in developing and implementing the arches in downtown Flint. So that was one of his major contributions to the city, amongst many, many other things that he contributed to.
Amen.
Do we have any other new business? Hearing none, I'm going to ask for a motion for adjournment.
Commissioner Blauer?
Oh, go ahead.
We got a motion from Commissioner Blauer. We have support.
Motion to adjourn.
I support Commissioner Ricks.
One question before we adjourn. Wasn't Suzanne supposed to put together some training for us? I remember a couple meetings prior, we discussed it and she said she would, and we haven't had it yet. So I just want to go on record to remind us of that conversation. That's all.
Bill?
You put that under old business, Commissioner Taliga?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I will point out, Commissioner McCaskill, that they did send us out those handbooks.
Yep, I remember that part. Yeah.
Yep. But in reference to what you're saying, though, there were some additional, I thought, live training sessions that we're going to try to go through too. I know when we first joined, we had a couple of those, and they did turn out pretty beneficial.
We had a very extensive training.
Yeah, that's why I'm so cantankerous as I am right now, okay, because of that training and reading the handbook, you know, because
it seems as the city grows, as we grow in planning, because we're having more and more zoning meetings than we've had since I've been around. And it seems as we grow, we need to be abreast of what, you know, our role is in that process.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I drove to Grand Rapids before I started and took a bunch of training.
Do we have anything else before we take that vote for adjournment? We have a motion on the floor and support. I apologize. I forgot who supported the motion.
Mr. Chair, this is Kelly Thompson. Yeah, I have Commissioner Rick. Sorry.
All right. We've got a motion. We got support. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same side. See you guys same time next month.
Amen.
Right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, commissioners. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.